So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we are a honest public service watch announcement. We try to bring you the truth and nothing but the truth in this channel. And I want to welcome all of you to the matinee. This is the matinee watch market update. The matinee, like the matinee theater, the movie theater. Well, this is the matinee watch market update. It's an unbelievable show. The producer of this show, the writer of this show, the editor of this show is, it's just, nobody but Sweet Kid Kino. He's the owner of this channel. He's the brains of this channel. And I am only the voice, but he is the real owner of this channel. He's always quiet. I know you people want to get to meet him, but he's a very, very, very shy human being. Just to let you know, if you find out who he is, you're not, wow, you're going to go, wow, it's unbelievable. But I just want to let you know about that. And the only thing that we ask all of you is for a thumbs up, a thumbs up. Like right now we have 10 organic watch channel subscribers, and we only have 4 thumbs up. I don't ask you for nothing. I don't ask you for no monthly membership fees. I'm not begging you for anything. Whatever you do it because you want to do it. We not like these channels that you're used to looking at, that they're begging you for this, begging you for that, begging you for a new camera, a new phone. None of that stuff here, Nosotros no estamos en eso. We're not in that. But we ask you for a thumbs up. That's all we ask you for. It's very simple, Very simple. You don't even have to subscribe to this channel no more. As a matter of fact, you can all unsubscribe. I don't care. How's that? No te meta aquí, no. No te meta. No te meta. So just to let you know how I feel, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by telling all of you, ladies and gentlemen, that the price of precious metal materials, the rhodium, the price is $8,225 a troy ounce. The price of palladium is $1,421. The price of platinum is $1,555. And silver, ladies and gentlemen, you don't fall asleep on that silver. Silver is going to be the new gold. I'm telling you, silver is going to be the new gold. The price of silver is $50.80 a troy ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, as we are all used to, gold is the macho. Gold is macho man, like Randy Savage, Randy Savage. And right now it's still at $4,100. Don't let that fool you. That thing is going to blow up. It's going to go to the moon. It's going to go kaboom. So just to let you know what's going on with that. All right, guys? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I got something else to tell you, because nobody's going to tell you this. This is why we are a public service watch announcement channel. Sweet Kid Kino is a man that studies, these watch dealers like studying the stock market, Kino watches them, he watches them, and he watches them, like watching the stock market, moving around. And ladies and gentlemen, these people have a new trick for you people out there. A new trick. You 11 organic watch channel subscribers are going to hear this. These people right now, they don't know what to do. So what they're doing is they're bidding on a watch. An example, I'm going to give you an example so you understand what I mean. They're putting a watch up for sale, for sale. They're putting up a Patek Philippe, a Nautilus, 5711 rose gold, with a chocolate brown dial, right? And they're putting down a price of $169,000, right? $169,000. And before you know it, the watch is sold, right? That's a subliminal message that penetrates your tomato can brain, Your tomato can brain is being told by these flim-flammers, these hucksters, these hoodwinks, are telling you, they're telling you that the watch costs $169,000. The Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 rose gold with a chocolate brown dial. They're telling you it's 169. But we know, and you should know by now, that that watch does not cost $169,000. You know? So they're doing this with watches, to keep on hyping up the prices, because these people, I'm telling you, these people have more tricks than Felix the cat's bag. They have more tricks than Felix the cat's bag, You understand me? So this is what they're doing. They're attacking you that way, and you're looking at it. And then they open up dummy group channels, watch channels, and they start throwing them around. They're throwing them around, in those prices, so you see them. Like let's say a Rolex Date a rose gold ombre dial, and they're putting it for $65,000. That watch doesn't cost $65,000, the 40 millimeter, but they're giving you that subliminal message so it can penetrate your head, and you continue passing it down to your dummy friends, you know what I'm trying to say, your crumb bum friends, your sandbag friends, window lickers, possum cakers, tomato cans, crayon eaters. You know what I'm trying to say? You understand me? Possum cakers. You cannot continue be this way, and we have to continue giving you this information for free, so they will get you taken. These people have all the tricks in the world, so you got to watch it. When you're looking at all these platforms, you got to be awakened. This is, you cannot tell me, that you're going to pay for a Rolex GMT Jubilee, a bracelet, a stainless steel Pepsi, you're going to pay $26,000, and they're putting that price out there to get you taken. Only I have to continue watching you people, because, you guys are skip hopping around through life like bunny rabbits, like pink bunny rabbits. And I can't let that happen. I got to let you guys know, because I understand that you guys are, you guys are obedient slaves to these people, You guys are obedient slaves to these people. And that's how it is, Ladies and gentlemen, today society believes more a lie than a truth. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, today in society, people believe a lie more than a truth. I'm just telling you what it is. You guys don't want to hear that. That's up to you. But it is like it is, That's what I'm saying, You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you how it is, I'm trying to tell you things because you need to know this. You need to get ready, because it's an attack coming our way. And you guys need to be prepared, because these people, let me tell you something, they'll do anything for me to, get lost. They want me to get lost. I'm telling you this, they want me to get lost. They would like to see this my TV antenna fall down. You don't know about this, ladies and gentlemen, because ustedes son unos lambones. You don't know about that. Palomo. But they're dying for this TV antenna. Only Kino has put, many ropes on the antenna to secure it, with wires, because they want to knock it down. They want to knock down our TV antenna, on this channel. You know what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. Let me drink a little bit of this stuff, And the only thing that we get from you guys is, it's like pulling teeth from you guys, pulling teeth. So you guys can give us a thumbs up, But they're dying for this channel to disappear, because we have rattled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market, We have rattled it, we all alone, Sweet Kid Kino and me, we have disrupted, disrupted and rattled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. And we're not going to stop until they become honest with you people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue with this. Somebody sent me some information. And, the information they sent me, I already knew it already. But he addressed this, so I'm going to continue on with this, ladies and gentlemen. You have two watch channels that they're dead. You have two watch channels, they're dead. And these people were best friends. These two channels were best friends. They were in cahoots. You know, they were in cahoots. Thank you very much, Thurston. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. They were in cahoots together, these two people. And I must come again because I'm the only one. I'm stupid like that I have to come and awaken your heads up, get you guys ready to what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have no other than the Walrus Fat Bastard, and you also have Deputy Boxing Black Eyes. These two people right now are looking for a storyline. I repeat, these two Michiganders are looking for a storyline. I'm talking about Deputy Boxing Black Eyes and the Walrus Fat Bastard. Their channels are down. These people have over 700,000 subscribers. Correcto, Alberto, correcto. Over 700,000 subscribers. Deputy Boxing Black Eyes has, and the Walrus Fat Bastard has like 2 million, but their channels are dead and they need to pick it up. And right now they're fighting against each other. It's a storyline to get you taken deeply, to get you taken deeply. I have a storyline now that they're arguing back and forth about the watch, the watch Hublot. The watch Hublot. You had these two people that were bad mouthing it, making fun of it, and they will not sell that watch for nothing in the world. They wouldn't sell it because it was not worth to sell it, So you had that. You had the, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, and you had his sidekick, Jiminy Cricket, with the Chia Pet spray can hair. Also, just murdering the watch brand Hublot. And the Walrus Fat Bastard also laughing over there. And they were all together in cahoots, destroying the watch brand Hublot, If you go back 3 years ago, go back 3, We're in 2025, go back to 2022. These people were destroying. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I never got on that bus. I have always said that Hublot is a good watch brand. Simple as that. But these people were making fun of the design of the movement, that edition, this edition, They had the Muppet edition, they had the Mickey Mouse edition, they had the P. Diddy edition, all those editions, It's the truth. They're the masters of edition, but they're ripping it. And now these people are fighting and they're making a fight, but it's all stage. Like the world is staged, like the Truman Show. Truman? The Truman Show with that guy, Carrie Jim, The Truman Show, ladies and gentlemen, it's all rigged. It's all fixed to get you taken, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you that this is what they're doing to you people so they can get you taken. These people are making a storyline because their channels are dead. There's no more, making a sale and taking out the blocks, the big bricks of $100 bills and putting it in the machine like Scarface. Eso se terminó. It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. That bus went by, papi. That bus went by. Exactly. It's dead. These people, if you go to our city, my city of Miami, those people are eating each other. They don't know what to do no more. They don't know what to tell you no more. They don't know how to get you as lollipop suckers, window lickers, tomato cans. They don't know what to tell you no more. But I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you the truth and what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. These people are cretins. These people are an infection in the corner of your nail with pus. You know what pus is? Pus in the corner. So una gonorrhea. Like yellow fluid. You know what yellow fluid is? I'm not going to tell you. You Google it. If you don't know what yellow fluid is, that's what those people are. They're yellow fluid. Let me drink some jungle juice because I'm on fire right now. I'm on fire. I'm just letting you know I'm on fire, and I do this for free. It's incredible. What do I get? Nothing. Not even respect I get. Esto es flu amarillo, papi. Flu amarillo. When you want to know what an infection is, you say it's yellow fluid, fluid amarillo. It's not a good thing, but those people, when you want to call them something, you say who? The fluid amarillo, the yellow fluid people? That's who they are, papi. Those people are yellow fluids. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you because I'm stupid like that and I have to tell you the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue this show today and this matinee, ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, with the situation with Rolex, Rolex factory, Rolex AD, over there. I told you about them, how they operate. I told you when they came the first time, they got here, Rolex came along. Rolex came by themselves, to go see the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. And, they came to their office very early in the morning, and the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue received them. He sat there with them. He listened to the lady, lady chief, the man chief, from Rolex. And he told them, shoot, get out of here. And they left, and they had that, 39% tariff, and they left, ladies and gentlemen. And then, they had the U.S. Open, the United States, tennis, over there in Flushing and Queens and New York. And they got the president tremendous, I don't know, one of those big, for rich people, one of those, I don't know, a skybox. I don't know what it's called, it's only for rich people. I don't even know what rich people look like, but, rich people, So they were all there, and, the president was walking around, the Secret Service, they gave them hats to the people. Rolex gave them hats, all that good stuff. And, that was it. And ladies and gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago, Rolex SA came again and also took with them other people from, Switzerland, Geneva, with them in the same plane. And they came over here and, pictures were taken and all that good stuff. And, they were trying to work things out because this world is all a business. I'm going to show you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you something because I got to show you this, because nobody's going to show it to you, but I will, because, Rolex is special. Rolex is special. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, they got into a conversation. They got into a real good conversation, the people from Rolex, with the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, Even Marquito, Marquito was there. Marquito's like Pennsylvania's Avenue's little pet, Marco Rubio, And they were talking, and ladies and gentlemen, when you look at this, you're going to realize something. They won't show you this, but I will, okay? What you're going to see is top secret stuff. The sweet Kid Kino has done, unbelievable research, When you see this, you guys, I'm going to show you. You see the guy over there? This guy here? I think this guy here is Mr. Pennsylvania Avenue. That guy right there. That's Mr. Pennsylvania Avenue, right? You see something like a little red circle? Look for the red circle. The red circle there? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to blow it up for you. I'm going to blow it up for you so you understand. If you look at that little circle right there, you know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? That is, some believe, kind of embarrassing as it is, but anyway, that is a Rolex Date Just desk clock. A Rolex Date Just desk clock, for the most important office in the world, So right there, as you can see it right there, You see that there? That's unbelievable. But let me tell you, as you can see, you see these people, they're all, sitting down, the gift, that's the gift. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to show you more, Papi. I got to show you more. Maybe here you can see it. And, and one of those fancy bottles of wine that cost like $20,000, There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, is solid gold. This desk clock is solid gold the way he likes it. The way that guy likes it. The guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, the way he likes it, It has a fluted bezel, Rolex Date Just. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable because I've been telling you this is all a business, all a business all along. Take a look at it, digest it so you can see that this is all a business. Ladies and gentlemen, they're also saying that, since that happened, that they gave the president that he was gifted. He was gifted this Rolex Date Just. It's thunder lightning any moment. So when the show goes off, you run to the hills because this is the only channel with the truth. And what do I get? I get this deeply. That's all I get. But that's fine. I'm all right with that. I'm fine with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, now they're talking about that, they gave that gifted, to the president, that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. And they're saying that basically the president that's in-house as president, he can take a gift under listen to this, under $425. Under, $425 and under. Over that, he has to leave it there in the house. Over there, like in the house in Pennsylvania Avenue, he has to leave it there, And so they say that belongs now in the Oval Office. Beautiful desk clock, Date Just fully gold. The way he likes it. He has gold all over his office, This guy's unbelievable. So I told you this was going to happen. And I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that they were going to come into agreement. I told you that too. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, they came into agreement. I believe it was yesterday. And they came into agreement of a 15%, tariff, from the 39% to a 15% now. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm dropping on you people is just knowledge so you guys can continue, learning that this is all a business. This is all a business. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that the president basically gave that 15%. But as you know, Rolex, January and May has, risen the prices. The prices were raised already. So basically, I don't know. I'm going to ask all of your questions because you people are very brilliant. Son una mente brillante. You have brilliant minds. Do you think that Rolex is going to put that 15%, on us? Or they're going to stay shut and just pay the 15% to the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue? And that's it, because like I told you already, they raised the prices in January of this year and the prices in May. And it already adds to the 15%. They were saying they had to, put those percentage because of materials, of materials. But I think that was it already, They got the phone call, rise it up before I say that, that word, you can't say the word tariff too much because the TV antenna, they'll knock down my TV antenna. I'm just telling you. So you guys have to help me out, So I believe they prepared those people over there from Rolex. Papi, son unos bandidos, son una gonorrea. They're vampires. These people are vampires. Son vampiros, Thank you. Son unos vampiros. So I don't know what's going to happen if, the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue already gave him the 15%, but we don't know what it is. We don't know if that was already, it's mafia. It's mafia, I'm telling you. Listen to me. When they give you a desk clock of Date Just, with a fluted bezel of gold, esto se jodió, and they're saying that has to stay in the White House, and I'm just trying to tell you that this is all rigged, man. This is all rigged, this is you haven't missed the whole thing, Wicked. But what I'm trying to say is that Wicked, the situation, as you know, yesterday they fixed the tariff situation. But I wanna, since you were not here, I'm gonna do one more time so you can see it, Wicked, because you're my friend, and I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you what Rolex gifted. The guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna believe. I have to show you this again. I'm gonna have to show you again. I'm gonna have to show you. Look what Rolex Rolex factory gave the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. They gave him a desk clock, Date Just, yellow gold with a fluted bezel. Look at that. This is what they gave him, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's like a green Dow, olive green Dow. These people are unbelievable. Tanta son una gonorrea. They gave that to the president because that's how they fixed the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you a little bit more. Look at that. You see that? Look at the bottle. They say that bottle there costs like $40,000. They send them the bottle too, a bottle of wine. This is unbelievable what I'm showing you. This is top secret. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this now. I gotta show you this. This is look at that. Look at that. Look at that guy. See the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue? You see the red little circle? You see right there? I'm telling you what's going on. Look at that. Look at that. I also want to say something, ladies and gentlemen, that Sweet Kid Kino told me, and I couldn't believe this. Sweet Kid Kino told me something that it really amazed me. And if you guys do the same, study that Kino did, you're going to understand this. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that 99% of the people that work for the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, this is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody know what I'm going to say? 99% of the people that work for Pennsylvania Avenue in the White House. Listen to this, Wicked. Listen to this, Wicked. 99%. Nobody still doesn't know, huh? I thought you guys would know this. But you guys don't know this, okay. They say that 99% of the people that work for the president in the White House, they're all Jewish. And the 1% is el Latino, the Latin, Marquito Rubio. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? The only one is Marquito Rubio. He's the percent, And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to tell you things so you guys can continue, on top of this. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. I got to tell you something else. I got to tell you, thank you very much, Wicked, for that super thanks chat. Thank you very much, Papa. From the bottom of my heart, Wicked. From the bottom of my heart, Papa. Gracias. Thank you very much. I want to say something to all of you. I told you that this is all a big business. And I told you that guy from New York City, he won the election over there last week. That guy, that he's a communist, a communist, a socialist, whatever you want to call him. I don't know what it is, whatever you guys want to call him. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you that there's always somebody behind the door. There's always somebody behind the door that's calling all the shots, There's calling all the shots. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but they gave this gentleman, this unbelievable man, by the name of Zorro George. Zorro George, Zorro George. He gave over for the foundation and campaign of that guy from New York that won the mayor, whatever it is, the Mandani, Ladies and gentlemen, they gave him over $37 million. $37 million, to inject, that race. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all a business. We are all, we are on the Truman Show. We're in the Truman Show. Todo esto es pura paja, papi. Estamos jodidos. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot continue being blind. We need you guys to be awake. You know the guy that wears the mask, Anonymous. The guy that wears the mask and the cape, and he has a funny way of talking. You guys gotta wake up because esto está jodido, and me and Kino can't do this alone. We need help from our army, which is you people. You guys gotta help us out. And listen to me, guys. When we are not here no longer, when we're gone, you're gonna miss this channel because you're never in your life gonna see a channel like this one again. Everybody else is getting greased up. Everybody's getting greased up to say whatever lie it has to be said. They'll sell their soul. They'll sell their mother. They don't care. These people are crumb bums. These people are sandbags. These people are gonorrheas. These people, these people are bad people, ladies and gentlemen. You have to open your mind. I have to be very careful the way I say these words because they're going to knock down my TV antenna. They want to knock down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be honest. This channel's blocked, man. It's totally blocked. You don't know that? This channel's totally blocked. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to leave nowhere. Because if I can get one or two people every time I do this, I'm doing my job. I'm still like a thorn en el orto. I'm a thorn en el orto. All right? Just be smart, guys. Stop being, I'm telling you all this because you need to know. What they have for you guys, prepare. And I know it all. I already told you what the Warriors fat bastard and Deputy Boxing Black Eyes is doing to you guys. They have a storyline to tell you. I'm telling you that. I already told you what the channels are doing to you guys. They're putting a subliminal number, a price on the watch, so you can believe that's the price. It's all BS. I'm going to say this to you guys. It's all bullshit. All right? I'm going to come out of character. It's all bullshit. So be smart, guys. These guys are skimming you. You know what? You guys don't know about that. I shouldn't even tell you that. But, I got to just tell you what's going on. I got to tell you. You guys cannot continue being lambones. You have to, even if you feel that they're going to block you, they're going to ban you, they're going to delete you, you need to voice out what you believe. If you don't voice out, they're going to beat you guys up. They're going to beat you up. And let me tell you something. They can continue repeating and repeating and repeating, and they will continue winning and winning and winning. They will win. It's the same thing with what's happening in the world. They're lying to us in front of us, and we know it's a lie, but we'll go away, and the next ones will start believing it again. I don't know if I made sense to you guys, but it's a little hard thing to tell you guys. It's what it is. I'm going to give you a watch market update because that's what you guys need so you guys can continue defending yourself. I'm going to give you a watch market that's going to blow your socks off and blow your hair back. It's gonna blow you away. Papi, they are. I don't want to call them no more window lickers. I want to call you guys awake. Not woke, awake. You guys know what's going on. But I'm going to give you a good watch market update that's going to help you out a lot. All right? It's going to help you out a lot. Our first watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex Yachtmaster stainless steel 40 millimeter, with the blue hand, rhodium dial, reference number 126622, 40 millimeter. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch. Listen to me. When I say a price here, it's like a harpoon in their heart. It's like a harpoon. Watch this. Don't pay for that watch, for that rhodium dial with the blue hand stainless steel. Don't pay more than $12,200. You heard that right. Don't pay more than $12,200. You do whatever you want. The watch market is dead in a backyard pool and floating face down like this. Dead. Okay? Dead. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex yellow gold date 36 millimeter, with a green ombre dial, reference number 128238, 2025. Beautiful looking time machine. Beautiful. But don't pay for that watch more. You don't pay more. And if they want to know where you're getting those prices, you cut a clip from this show and you send it to them. When you send it to them, they see my face, they go bananas. They go bananas. Bananas. Don't pay for that watch more than $43,000. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Yachtmaster two-tone, rose gold and stainless steel 40 millimeter, reference number 126621 with a black dial. I'm going to give you two of these dials with this watch market update on this Yachtmaster. Black dial, don't pay for that watch. Don't pay. 40 millimeter, black dial, Yachtmaster, two-tone, rose gold, stainless steel. Don't pay more than $12,000. If it has a chocolate dial, I repeat, no sean lambones y palomos. If it has a chocolate dial, don't pay more than $12,500. You do whatever you want. You do what. This is the #1 watch market update show in the world. We've been chosen by no other than Goldman Sachs. Unbelievable, but true. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch, listen to this one. This one is going to hit them hard because it's a heavy hitter and they can make, 5-digit numbers, 5 digits. But I come here to show you. This is a Rolex Platinum Date 40 millimeter meteorite dial, with baguette dial. Meteorite dial with baguettes, and the markers in the hour. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. 2025, the year 2025. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Don't pay for that watch more than $82,500. Pa' que te duela, papá. Pa' que te duela mucho. Pa' que te duela, papi. I'm here, papi. I'm here. I know you got me like this, but I'm here. And I ain't going nowhere. I'm here. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Diaz. Papi, esto es así. Esto es así. No sean lambones. No sean palomos. The watch market is dead. It is all artificial amongst themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, they want me to sell you guys out. They want me to sell you guys out and go to the dark side, Go to the dark side. I said it wrong. They want sweet kick Kino. And I'm going to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be honest. Every once in a while, Kino tells me, Coño, we're not doing nothing here. We just might as well join those delinquents, That's what Kino tells me, I said, Kino, we have ethics. We have ethics and we have scruples, Somos personas de elegancia. We're elegant people. I said elegancia means elegant, So, I don't want to go there, But Kino, every time they talk to him about a couple of gold watches that they will give us gifted, he goes bananas. But I say, no. I won't let that happen. Not to my Organic Watch channel subscribers. I mean, you guys believe whatever you want. It's what it is, It's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch here, pay attention. So today, you 17 can say, wow. Wow. And right now, I have a couple of them that, spooking. They're spooky. And at least 2 of them are spooking right now to hear this one. Yes, I'm going to be talking about the Rolex stainless steel. Listen, the Rolex stainless steel Land Dweller. Rolex stainless steel Land Dweller with the chicken coop white dial. The chicken coop, chicken coop. When you put the chicken, they have those wires, Chicken coop white dial. Yes, we named it that way. If anybody tries to tell you other, you say the one that invented that name, the chicken coop white dial, was no other than Sweet King Kino to me, Joaquin to you. The chicken coop white dial, 36 millimeters. Can anybody guess what price I'm going to tell you not to pay for that watch? I'm going to give you the reference so you guys can continue skip-hopping around through life like little rabbits. 127234. Go ahead. Tell me a price that I'm going to tell you guys. Come on. Tell me. Nobody knows, huh? Man, these people tienen miedo, Kino. Tienen miedo. No saben. Pues le regalan el dinero, todo el mundo se lo regalan. Y a ti que te dan a ti nada. No te dan nada, Kino. No te dan nada. Esta gente son así. No le dan nada al bobo. Al bobo no le dan nada. Nada le dan al bobo. Mira cómo me están esperando. Ellos quieren saber el precio del Land Dweller. They want to know the price of the Land Dweller. I can take my sweet time. It's my channel. I said it wrong. It's Kino's channel. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Land Dweller stainless steel 36 millimeter with a chicken coop white dial. Don't pay more than $21,500. The situation is bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's no money out there. There's no money out there, ladies and gentlemen. There has to come another Corona beer era again para levantar el muerto este, to lift up this dead body. There has to come another Corona beer era again. So the guy over there, you know, the Iron Sheik tunic man, he's praying to Allah. You know Allah? He's praying to Allah another Corona beer era so he can sell those 150 Richard Milles he has. You don't know about this, papi. Ustedes están sacando los mocos y se lo están comiendo. Saca moco, saca moco. You know that? Google it. Google it, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you something special. I gave you the Land Dweller. You know? You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. I say the truth. And I have to be careful because this channel is in lockdown. They don't want me to tell no more the truth. But that's how it is. If I can save three of you, I'm fine. I did my job. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you another watch market update. It is the Rolex two-tone. Rolex two-tone. Unbelievable, this Rolex two-tone GMT. Rolex two-tone GMT. Unbelievable, you know. Rose gold, you know, with stainless steel, with that beautiful root beer ceramic bezel, 40 millimeter. Unbelievable looking watch, you know. Reference number 127611CHNR. The root beer, ladies and gentlemen. The famous root beer. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch in the Corona beer era, so you understand, no offense to any two-tone watch. I think all watches are beautiful, but at least, you know, since I've been around this, you know, watch of you know, collecting watches in the watch, you know, circle, playing with watches, papi, a two-tone watch was not a dog. A two-tone watch was considered a dog with fleas, a dog with fleas. And things were so good in that Corona era that this watch, which is a stainless steel with rose gold, went all the way up to $45,000, $37,000, $34,000. Ladies and gentlemen, it was crazy. I never in my life saw a two-tone watch jump up in price like I saw that watch. The root beer. Does anybody believe what I'm saying, or am I lying? Come on, tell me, challenge me. Call me a BSer. Go ahead, put it up there. I want to see it. Papa, that watch, and then it stabilized at $35,000, papi. 35. It just stood at 35. You wanted a two-tone root beer? Give me 35. You said, what? 35. And there were a bunch of people with PPP loans, small PPP loans, big SBA loans, government grants, stimulus checks, unemployment checks, protection employment checks. Papi, they were throwing money away. Don't pay for that root beer. You do whatever you want. You tell them that I said it. Don't pay for that root beer. I mean, I'm telling you how it is. I'm just trying to show you, you know. Don't pay more than $17,000. How you like them apples? Don't pay more than $17,000. And that watch is over retail. You know, the price is more expensive than the one that I gave you. You do whatever you want. It's your money. Do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about an AP, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. You know, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. This is the 15400. 15400. Stainless steel, 41 millimeter with a black dial. You know, this watch at one moment in that Corona era, you had to come up with $50,000 for that watch. $50,000. You know, $50,000. And I'm going to tell you, because I'm stupid like that, good stuff, man. You know, good stuff. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something, you know. today is my anniversary, me and my wife, It's our birthday together for our anniversary. And ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy. I woke up this morning and I can't believe, So if you see me out there walking around, you say, hey, happy anniversary to me, Today, we turn 42 years of marriage. Isn't that unbelievable? When you say 42 years, when you say 42 years of marriage, that's a man of integrity, and a man of integrity, a man of direction, Anybody that tells you they've been married for 50, 40, 35 years, that's a person, a disciplined person. Like me, I'm a disciplined person. So it's my anniversary today, guys. All right? Just to let you guys know. Don't pay for that AP Royal Oak 15400 Black Dial. Don't pay more, and I mean this, don't pay more than $28,500. You do whatever you want, papi. You do whatever you want. Eso no es nada malo. You do whatever you want. This watch here is for a good organic watch channel subscriber of ours. His name is Damon. Damon. It's an H. Mooser. H. Mooser and Chi. Reference number 1201-1200. Has a 72-hour power reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a big fan of this brand. I am. I'm a very big fan. In particular, this watch here, they call this watch the Purple Haze. The Purple Haze. Like Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze. It has a purple dial with a purple a strap. The strap is an enamel, It has a kudu leather. Kudu, Kudu, I don't even know how to pronounce. Those are very fancy names that I don't know how to say it too well, But it's an unbelievable watch, and ladies and gentlemen, it's like a concept, a concepto, the concept. And I told you, 72-hour power reserve. Let me tell you, these people. One thing I'm gonna tell you, these people, they have some good backing of money behind them because they're involved in many things. These people are involved. Thank you very much, Sodi. Thank you very much, Papa. Thank you. Gracias, Papa. These people are involved in Formula One. They're sponsoring Formula One cars. H. Mooser. So these people, they got money back there, and I believe, one day they would take off, But for some reason, they just, it hasn't happened, I don't have the picture of that one, but just put H. Mooser right now. H. Mooser, a Purple Haze. It'll come out right away. And people are out there asking for this watch $34,000, $35,000, $36,000, even $40,000. It's a brand new watch. Brand just came out. The Purple Haze. And I'm gonna tell all of you, you do whatever you want, but do not pay for that Purple Haze more. I mean, you do, Damon, this is for you, Damon, because I know you like, H. Mooser. Don't pay for that watch. And it's, you're gonna go, wow, it's still there, it's pricey. It's like 27,000 Swiss francs, right? 27,000 Swiss francs. How much is that? Tell me in US dollars. How much? Somebody tell me. Come on, tell me. 27,000 Swiss francs. That's the price of that watch, right? Can somebody tell me what is it? Okay, right. Well, they themselves too. But Tag Heuer has always been involved. I think they're the time clock of Formula One. Tag Heuer, to be honest. But back in the 60s and 70s, it was Heuer, which is Heuer. They were there. They would give out watches for first, second, and third place. Back in the day. But I'm gonna tell all of you, don't pay for that watch. Whatever you do, if you like it, don't pay more. For the H. Mooser Purple Haze. Don't pay more. Stainless steel watch. Beautiful movement. Don't pay more than $25,000. You do whatever you want, right, guys? Do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a watch here that in that Corona era too, Corona beer era, Corona beer, beer, so they don't get, you got to confuse them, The Corona beer era, this watch was, man, I'm telling you, it was you say, man, how these people spend it so much money. And I know people that bought this watch. Very nice. It is very nice. This is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas. This is a stainless steel watch. Stainless steel watch is the 6000V. You know, that's the reference number 6000V. Has a blue, shocking blue dial, but it has a tourbillon. You know, blue dial in the middle, the tourbillon, you know, in the middle. And this watch has a retail price. I'm going to give you the retail price because I want you to hear this one. It's $129,000, the retail price of this watch. And this watch in the Corona era, people were going bananas for it, you know, because let's be honest, I think one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful blue dial in the watch industry. I don't know who else could it be, but it has to be them. The most beautiful blue dial. It's so beautiful, it looks sometimes to me like a purple blue dial, but it's blue. Blue dial. And it's a 42.5 millimeter casing, tourbillon. $129,000 is the retail price of that watch plus your taxes. And in the Corona era, that watch went all the way up. All the way up. People give it away, 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 like the red hot chili peppers, you know, giving it away. You know, they gave their money away for free, over $200,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to tell you the sad truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad, man. It really is. Don't pay for that beautiful Vacheron Constantin Overseas tourbillon blue dial 6000V. Don't pay more than $68,000 and dropping. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. Papi, there's nobody that's going to give you a watch market update like this here. There's nobody that's going to give you a watch market update like this Sweet Kikino. You know, Sweet Kikino is unbelievable. You know, I'm telling you what it is. You know, and ladies and gentlemen, saludos, Mr. Donut. I am going to give you the last watch market update of this matinee. I'm going to give it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Patek Philippe Nautilus, you know, with a blue jean dial, blue jean strap, white gold, 5980, you know, 5980. And this watch, ladies and gentlemen, has gone up from a retail price that it was in the high, you know, in the mid 70s, you know, mid 70s. And with all these jumping in prices, this watch has going mad, you know, mad. The retail price of that watch today has gone up like $20,000. In the retail, it's $98,100. You know, so every time the watch goes up, they want to pull it up too. But it can't happen. It cannot happen in this show. You know, you keep on telling them this is the number. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Don't pay for that watch. I mean, you do whatever. It's your money. I understand you have deep pockets. But don't pay for that watch. Don't pay more. Yes, we talked about tariffs, so you have to see the, you know, when this is done, you put it so you can see the whole thing. I spoke about the tariffs and I spoke about all that, but you'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. Don't pay for that Nautilus. Don't pay more. Okay. All right, guys. You'll catch up. Don't pay more than $161,500. All right, guys? Listen to me, gentlemen. What they're doing to you now, they're just playing with you, playing with your mind, playing with numbers to confuse you completely. And I'm talking about even watch groups that I have. I don't believe it's ownership that's doing it, but ownership is probably, you know, permitting it to happen. You know, they're putting numbers. They're called phantom numbers. Phantom. You know, they put it up, and a minute later, it's been sold, but they leave it there, and you can see it. It's sold. You know, it's sold, and you go back and you look at it, and like I told you again, one more time, do you guys believe, before I let you guys go, I need to know this for myself, for my sanity. Do you guys believe that a Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 rose gold with a chocolate brown dial costs $169,000? Tell me, don't Not because I'm going to say no, but tell me what you believe. Do you think it costs $169,000? Hell no. Okay, but you know what, Mr. Donut? You know you're something else. You're special. Does anybody else besides Mr. Donut believe that a Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 rose gold chocolate dial discontinue collector's choice collector's gray whatever you want to call it costs $169,000 in the secondary gray watch market? In Swiss francs, there it is. Wow. Oof. Does anybody? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what a Patek 5711 rose gold discontinue collector's dream, collector's unit. You see, you guys don't know. So now that's how I know already that you guys hear 169, and it's a subliminal message to the brain that, hey Tommy, do you know what a 5711 rose gold a chocolate dial cost? Yeah, I heard the other day, $169,000. You know, exactly many years ago, the 3700. Correct. But what I'm trying to say is, again, hear me out. That's the watch. That's the poster child watch that they're using for real. Oh, it's sold. So you go back and that price is $169,000. It's sold for $169,000. No comas mierda. No comas mierda. No comas cativilla. $169,000. You'd be lucky if you get 130. How's that? I like them apples. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, since I see you guys don't want to interact too much, you know, I have a date today with my wife because, as I told you, it's my anniversary. You know, it's my anniversary today with my wife. My wife loves me, and I love my wife, and I care about you people out there. So please, ladies and gentlemen, you know, continue to watch your children's tuition money. Continue to watch your wife's 401k because you guys don't have no more 401ks because you gave it all away, you know, to the hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo, you know, to the Warriors fat bastard, to Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, to the two Jehovah Witness brothers, to Big Pun and Heavy D, to the two Toddler Body brothers, you know, to the two Hindu, the brothers, you know, Hindu brothers over there in downtown. They have tape haircuts with, you know, with their initials in their head, you know. That's what you like. You don't like this. Anyway, guys, it was fun. Thank you so much for joining me on this matinee. I really appreciate that you guys are here with me. You 13, 15, 18 that you guys were here. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And like me and Sweet Kid Kino say always, you know it, Mr. Donut. Like me and Sweet Kid Kino say always, take care and brush your hair. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.